All right, welcome back everybody to Bandzoogle Office Hours, our weekly live stream here on the Bandzoogle YouTube channel, where we talk about something specific to do with the music industry, to do with building out your music website for yourself as an artist, for yourself as a band, whatever it might be. Go over tips and tricks. We field questions, so feel free at some point while you're here. If you pop in, let me know your name, let me know where you're from, and let me know most importantly, actually second most importantly, the music you play. If you have a website, post a link to your website in the chat so I can check it out. But number one, most importantly, and I got some great recommendations last week that were awesome. I'm always looking for new music to check out on Spotify and add to my favorites list, hopefully building out that list, diversifying my liked list on Spotify. It's one of the most important things. It's discovering new music. I don't know. I find I'm having more and more trouble discovering new music these days. So even though it's like more accessible than ever, but new things that like vibe with me that I like, right? I'm such a creature of habit. It's listening to the same stuff I've been listening to for the last 25 years. But definitely, if you have music recommendations, post them in the chat so I can check it out. And post a link to your website because I want to hear your music. But give me your name. Let me know where you're from, at the very least. So today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about EPKs a little bit. So electronic press kits. And we're going to be talking about design ideas and design inspiration for electronic press kits. So we're going to be taking a look at a couple of examples of really beautiful press kits that were built through Bandzoogle and see what they did well, see what we liked about them, and maybe give you some ideas, hopefully, give you some inspiration on things that you can replicate, things that you can apply to your own EPK. That's the goal. And if you have any questions along the way, please don't be shy. This is a conversation here in these YouTube lives. That's why we do them. So if you have anything that you want to know about, even non-EPK related, just something to do with music, something to do with your website, feel free to post your question in the chat. And yeah, I'll be checking it out, but yeah, definitely say hi. Let me know your name. Introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from. I think normally we get some regulars in here too. So if any of the regulars are around, let me know. Nespresso sent me these I got a Nespresso machine for my birthday last year, and those pods. I haven't bought the pods, and I bought a whole bunch, and they sent me these free glasses. I think it's all fancy, little glass coffee glass. I feel very, very accomplished today. So let's get this presentation going. So what we're going to do, like I mentioned, take a look. Hi from Midway. Thanks for popping in. What kind of music do you play? Okay. Here is our first one that we're going to be taking a look at. So this is Bandzoogle member Rachel Beck. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is Gigi Music. I mixed them up. So really cool website. I love their color scheme right off the bat. If you didn't check out our live about applying your branding to your website, this is a really great example of it. So you see the colors, the menu at the top, right? So obviously we talked about how anytime any brand really, whether it has to do with music and yourself as an artist or as a band, or if you're just a business, any brand really is just like a general rule for graphic design. We want to have a 3-color palette to work with. So you want to sort of have like a primary color, a secondary color that pairs well with the primary color, and then a third, what's called an accent color that you can just mix in there that works really well with the first two, but sort of gives an extra splash of color you can throw in when you need it. Victor from Sweden. Thanks for popping in, Victor. Classic Soul, Doc. Oh my God, I love Classic Soul. I was a big Wilson Pickett fan growing up. And yeah, loved it. I was actually in a band when I was in college, and we would do covers at like local pubs around Montreal, the city where I live here, and played a bunch of like Irish pubs and stuff. And we would do covers, and like so we did a lot of classic rock stuff, a lot of Beatles, a lot of Stones, but we also did some Wilson Pickett songs. So big fan of Classic Soul. If you haven't seen the Commitments, one of my favorite movies of all time, just like a soul band, and started off doing Pickett covers in Dublin, Ireland, and brought soul back to Ireland. Great movie, great music movie if you've never seen it. So what she did really, really well here was her branding's fairly clear. Right, you have the yellow, pink, purple, 3-color system, right, for her brand. And she applied it really well to her EPK here, just like all the other pages of her website. So of course the yellow background, the purple text. So when it comes to I'm going to put on my critique hat a little bit here too, because nothing's perfect, right? And everything's subjective. Everybody has opinions. When it comes to, and this is the graphic designer in me too, that's looking at this and thinking, when it comes to text on a website, contrast is the most important thing. Well, actually, no. Let me adjust that. I'd say contrast is one of the two most important things. The first one being, did you choose a font that's easily legible? So something that's not overly fancy, something that's not overly decorative, that you can read really easily as well as you can from a big giant desktop computer monitor to a cell phone, right? So did they choose a good font? Yeah. I mean, it's decorative, but it's not hard to read or anything. It's not overly decorative. And then the color, so the contrast. So 100% contrast is black on white or white on black. With 100% contrast, that's the easiest for your eyes to focus on and read. So what you want with your text is something as close as possible to 100% contrast. And so I think with the color that they chose, it works. You know, a darkish purple on that yellowish background, it works pretty well. The text is easy to read. So they did a good job here with that. So what they start off with on their EPK is right off the bat, they have a quote. So if you have quotes, if you've been talked about by reviewers, if you've been talked about by bloggers, vloggers, whoever it might be, include that. Throw it into your EPK. It's always impressive for people to read. You know, if people are talking about you, that's a good thing, right? So she has some quotes here, along with some imagery. Great stuff. A quote from a Gala Lifestyle magazine. Another one from Anna Haber, gospel choir conductress, joy of singing. So it could even be like in this case, gospel choir conductress, joy of singing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a media member who talks about you, right? Or a reviewer. It could be somebody of note, somebody else who's prominent in the music industry who had a good thing to say about you that you can throw in there. It's really, there's no rules there when it comes to quotes. They have a short bio, which is great. So short bio meaning something that's not like 7 paragraphs long. Anybody who's looking at it, media member, somebody in the industry who's taking a look at the press kit here, short, brief, to the point, lets you know what they're going for, gives you all the information that you need right there. And what's really cool here is that they have a download of, you can download the EPK, you can download in English or Dutch because they're located in Holland, and you can download a high resolution version of their logo. Why do they have this available? So the whole point of a press kit is to give the press, or to give whoever it is that the press kit is made for, everything they would need when they're trying to make a decision about you or talk about you or promote something that involves you. So in this case, if Gigi's sending out her press kit to somebody who might need their logo for visuals, for posters, for an article that they're doing, for their website, for whatever it might be, or a video that they're making for their YouTube channel talking about Gigi, and they want to just flash, the graphics of the logo, they can download a high resolution version of her logo here in the press kit, which is perfect. You want to just have this kit that gives the press, gives whoever it is that is learning about you, going to be talking about you, everything that they need. Then she has some more quotes. And here's the big thing. Okay, press images. So again, if this is somebody who's reviewing an album, is going to be talking about you, if they need images to put in their post, if they need images to put inside their video, whatever it might be, they can get the images from here. Nice, beautiful, high resolution images. Have those available on your press kit. She does a great job with that here. Really, really well done. So these can all be clicked on to download. They have a good selection of different types of images. We normally say, have your newest promo shots there available, and then give them an option. Like some people will have a different style. Let's say if you have black and white photos that you did one time, you can make those available too, to give them a different option of things to choose from if they're going to be incorporating some of your visuals in their post. And then of course some more quotes, and then they have an inquiry. I would say, putting my critique hat on, a little bit too many. They could use with a couple less quotes. You scroll around, I mean, there's a good amount of quotes here. I would condense it to 2 or 3 unless they're really, really from big time publications or influencers. 2 or 3 is more than enough. Inquiries, have a place for them to get in touch with you. Okay. Make it easy. Use our contact form. They can enter their name, their email, type in a message, submit, boom, you get the email. Really easy. And that's Gigi's press kit. Good stuff. I like the colors. I like the images that they chose to make available. So it gives you an idea of the different types of content that you can mix together there. Okay, let's check out another one here. In the meantime, we have about, with lives, it's fluctuating up and down. We have about 8 people in here now. Let me know your name. Let me know where you're from, the type of music you play. Post a link to your website. If you want me to check it out, I can take a look right now. Take a look at your site, give you some feedback, let you know what you did really well. All right, who's next here? What EPK is next? Let's take a, Supernova. Supernova's great. They were on a live with us a couple of months ago. Really awesome. Okay, so Supernova on their EPK right away. They have their bio here to go. They have a link to their Spotify. Their goal is that they want to drive as much traffic as possible to their Spotify. So this is good. If that's their goal, they have it right here. So they're telling any press who are reading their EPK, if you want to listen to more, check out our Spotify, go right here. And they have the link there ready to go. Perfect. So that's easy to find. They have an embedded Spotify player, which is really cool too. The cool thing about, if your goal is to get Spotify streams, if that's your main concern and something that you want to work on improving and building up, then of course, link back to your Spotify in as many places as possible from your website. But you can also embed a Spotify player onto any page of your website. And when it comes to embeds, let's say embeds. When it comes to embeds, I think that's right. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Any plays, any clicks that you get through the embedded widget there count as plays, just as they would if they're on somebody's Spotify account. So it's a great way. You can place your tracks, your album on as many different places as possible to collect those streams. Press photos, of course. So they have their three, what they think are their 3 top press photos there available. They have a nice live video right there embedded. 2 different videos. That's good. I normally recommend 2's perfect, I find. Give them variation. Official music video, live video, perfect. Great mix. Anything more than that's a little bit too much. You don't want to paralyze people with too much choice when it comes to video. Um, you tell them what to watch. You might think giving people more choice is a good thing. It's like, oh, well, they have the freedom to choose. People don't really want choice or too much choice. There's the paralysis of too much choice. What is there? There was that famous haiku about somebody lying underneath a peach tree and looking up at all the peaches on the peach tree, trying to decide what peach to get. And they laid there so long, the peaches just started dying and falling and knocking them in the head. And they never ate a peach. They never chose a peach. So tell them what peach to eat. You choose the videos for them, maybe 2, and post them on there. So that's great. So far, perfect for Supernova. Okay, then they have their press reviews there. So they don't actually necessarily have all the quotes like we saw Gigi did before. What they're doing is they link to different articles where they were talked about, which is perfect. They have some sort of stats here. So 2.5 million streams on Spotify. That's amazing. They do pretty well for themselves. Their amount of followers on TikTok, Instagram followers. So if things of that, of course, not everybody's going to have 44,000 TikTok followers, of course, but anything, the point to convey here, anything that you think is of note for you, any kind of accomplishment, anything that you think could be relatively impressive, use the EPK as a place to mark that down like they did here. That's what I want to convey with this. Here, they sold out, they made a limited run cassette, they sold them out, things like this. This is a great example to give you, like, you can get creative with the kind of stuff that you incorporate there. And then they have some of their upcoming shows there, and they have a stage plot and tech writer. So if you're unfamiliar with those terms, those are great things to include on your press kit. Why they're useful for your press kit? Oh, Victor, you really needed this right now. Oh man, that's awesome. I'm so happy. That's what I want to hear. So we're here to help, man. We're here to inspire and talk to musicians. So I'm really glad that you needed this. All the fire, Doughboy God. All the fire. So the reason that you would put a stage plot or tech writer on your, actually, you know what? Let me, just to give you an example while I talk about this, let me open one up and we'll take a look. Why not? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let me get this screen share switched over. Let's take a look at the tech writer. This is the stage plot. So this is a little bit different. Stage plot is like it's a vague thing. It can be whatever you want it to be. But what it is, it's meant to show a venue how you set up your stage. So the reason to put that in an EPK is because you can also send an EPK to a venue that you're going to be playing a show at or a festival that you're going to be playing maybe. So why that's useful for a venue, you can send it to whoever the contact person is at the venue ahead of time. And you can say like, hey, look, we're going to be playing a gig here next month. We're opening for whoever, we're headlining, whatever it might be. This is the normal layout for our stage that we like to have. So if your tech people are wondering where we like to place our drum set, where we normally like to place our amps, so on and so forth, here's what we normally like to do. So if you want to accommodate us on that, you have that information. So nobody needs to contact you from the venue. There doesn't need to be any back and forth, any chasing you around. There doesn't need to be any surprises during sound check. You know what I mean? It's just good to have there. So they're, a fairly minimal stage plot. What this basically tells people is that, look, I'm just going to have a mic stand, I have my keyboard, I have a little attachment stand from my laptop on my keyboard. That's basically all I need. I got my 2 pedals. So that gives them an idea of what's going to be needed if Supernova comes and does a show at your venue. D Blue, speaking of stage plot, can I have 3 solo doing? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I've seen before? Actually, let me bring this up. Thank you so much, D, for mentioning that. That is a great point. Let's switch the screen share again. Let's go to what is the name of that band? What is the name of that band? So there's a Bandzoogle member, and what they did was they have different formations for their band, different lineups. So basically they have a full sort of lineup where they're like a husband and wife duo. Moonfruits, that's the name. Okay. So they're a husband-wife duo. Sometimes they perform just the 2 of them, and sometimes they have a full band set up with a couple of other people. So on their EPK, they actually had multiple stage plots depending on the amount of people that were going to be performing. Did I find it? It's so cool. I really want to show you guys. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Let me switch up the stage plot. No, the screen share, the stage plot. Jeez. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, this is what it looks like. So yes, and they have 3. That's perfect, D, that you asked if you can have 3, because they have 3. So they have a 2 setup, 3, and 4. So depending on the configuration they might have for that given show, depending on what band members are coming along, they have different setups there. And then so the stage plot's at the top, and then they have a tech rider below. A tech rider, for anybody's unfamiliar, is basically here's the equipment that we're bringing, and here's the equipment that we're going to need from the venue. So that's all listed out there so that they know. Okay. How did my last chat entry not go through? Oh my god, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. I'm not sure. YouTube being YouTubey? I don't know. Yeah, if you have a question, feel free to post it there for sure. So this is awesome. I love this. I love that they have this. And while I have it open, actually, this is an amazing EPK. Moonfruits are great, by the way. If you haven't heard of them, they're a great Canadian band from Montreal. So they have the quotes right away. You know what's cool about this? See the picture in the background? And how when you scroll down the page, solid white background, bio. If you scroll up, the picture background sort of behind the text. With any section on your website, you can add a background image and you can adjust the opacity, which is the transparency. So in that section of content, in your edit content tab, if you hover over any section, you're going to see a button that pops up that says section settings. If you click there, you can apply a background image in the settings, and you can adjust the transparency. You can adjust whether it's parallax scrolling, whether it's fixed scrolling behind. And so you can really make use of cool stuff like this, like background images, to break up the different sections of your EPK. So you scroll down here and they have their bio. Then they have a different solid color. Again, they're branded sort of like pinky, peachy color here. They have 4 videos embedded, another 4 music. So they have their live and music videos embedded. Their latest album here, ready to go. Some of the album artwork is a background image behind it, so they can download, they can stream, which is amazing. Different highlights, so different festivals, shows that they've played, different tours that they've been on, different bands they've opened for. And then at the bottom here, they have their contact info. One thing that I would mention is I would recommend against posting your email address anywhere on your website. So what happens when you do that is that it gets picked up instantly by spam bots. So there are these super evil, really smart spam bots that constantly crawl the internet looking for email addresses. And if it's available there to be indexed by search engines, spam bots are going to find it. And before you know it, your inbox is going to be full of spam messages. You're just going to be getting them constantly. And it happened to, I'm sure it's, we've been around long enough. Email's been around long enough. I'm sure people have had to scrap email addresses before. They just get bombarded with spam. Just basically becomes a spam account. Every day there's 25 new spam messages in there. Use a contact form. It's easier for people. They can just enter in a message, send it to you. They don't have to open up their own email, copy paste in your email, write their message, send. It's more streamlined, and it prevents your email address from being indexed by spam bots, which is really key. Okay. Then they have their promotional photos, all available here, which is awesome. And then the tech writers stage plots that we looked at. So what they did was they have, you can click on it. Each one opens up a PDF version, and then so it's easily downloadable. Just scrolling through here so y'all can take a look. They have some notes at the bottom too, which is really useful. They can make do with 2 monitors instead of 4, but 4 are preferable. They ask for no delay in the mains or on monitors, so on and so forth. So great stuff there with Moonfruits. Okay. Yeah, D, I agree. I agree, D. Great example of an EPK. All right, let's take a look at one more here. We got about 8 minutes left on the live. Let's take another look at another one. Let's see. Let's do, Fox and Bones. Yeah, here we go. So Fox and Bones. They have, again, their music, their Spotify embed right away. You're going to see this more and more. And again, we have our built-in music players. You don't need to embed from Spotify. But if getting sort of those extra streams, those extra listens on Spotify is something that is a goal of yours, then embedding your Spotify player is a great way to go. So they have 2 different sort of configurations of their band as well. They have a full band and just a duo, the 2 of them. So they divided up their videos, the full band and duo, which I think is a really cool idea. So you can see that here. So 2 videos for each. That magic number again for videos for me is 2. And then they have some quotes just below that. And then their short bio along with press photos. So everything is there. You know what the benefit of bios is? Well, it gives people an idea of who you are. But also, if anybody needs a description of you, let's say you're playing a festival, a big gig, and somebody is promoting the festival or the gig, right? So they're putting together a website with everybody's going to be involved. They're putting together a social post with details on all the bands that are going to be playing. They might need a little write-up about you to use in the promos for the show, for the festival. So they will go to your press kit and they'll take that bio or take pieces of it and use that so they don't have to write something up themselves. So the benefit of having that available there is that you can control what's said about you. You can control how it's worded. I've seen people even do like a short, like different length bios. So they'll have like a 3-4 sentence one, like really brief for somebody who just needs a really short blurb to put into an article or a promo. They'll have one that's a little bit longer and then a long form one for people who just want to read about you and learn about you. So it's a good idea to make like multiple ones available like that too. And then some more press stuff here down below. So different quotes, contact information. Again, they're listing out their email addresses. Okay, see what I mean about contrast? I might actually reach out to them and let them know about this. This is what not to do with contrast, because looking at this, I know it's just email addresses, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But that kind of like dark blue on light blue, it just makes it really hard to read. And even though email addresses aren't like imperative that people are able to read them because they copy and paste them, it looks just unprofessional. It looks like there wasn't thought put into the design when people see something like that. Contrast. Keep contrast in mind. It's important. It's important, kids. So if you are curious, there is a blog post. If you go to bandzoogle.com, here once again, let me switch up the screen share so I can show everybody here. First thing I would recommend everybody do Keep an eye on the YouTube channel, subscribe if you haven't already, because we do these things once a week. We also post videos in between with like music inspiration ideas, like website inspiration ideas, tutorials. We post a lot of great stuff on a weekly basis. So keep an eye on that if you haven't um, subscribed to the channel yet. If you don't, keep a close eye on it. Definitely check that out. But also, the Bandzoogle blog is extremely, extremely handy. And so a lot of these examples were taken from that. Let me show you here. So if you go to bandzoogle.com, and at the top here, you will see blog. Now, uh, this is updated. You'll see some posts by one by me here. All the people on staff, we have guest posters here, and it's all amazing, amazing information that you can use to help you along in your music career, to help you along with your website, with your marketing, everything that you could possibly need to know when it comes to being an independent musician. So keep an eye on the blog. If you're curious to get a little bit more, a couple of more examples, we have this is what this sort of talk was based off of: website design inspiration, best electronic press kits. You can check out, there's a couple of more examples here. So if you're looking for inspiration, like you mentioned, Victor, that you were, there's tips and tricks, stuff to include in your EPK, and also links to different examples more than we talked about today. So if you're curious, you can go there and check that out. Couple of minutes left. If anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know. Again, if you have music recommendations, feel free to pop those in the chat. Just say hi. Let me know your name, where you're from. And we do these, like I mentioned, once a week. Every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we do these lives. So feel free to pop in every week if you got a kick out of this. It's also going to be available, the full thing. So if you came in about halfway through and you missed the first half, you can, they're all excuse me, available on our YouTube channel after the fact. So you can just go to Bandzoogle's YouTube channel, click on lives, and you'll see all past lives listed out there. All right. This was awesome. Thanks everybody who popped in, everybody who had questions, who commented. Great to see you all here. Keep an eye on the channel. Like I mentioned, if you do have any questions about anything, reach out to our awesome support team in your help tab. You can just click on the chat bubble. There's no wait times in chat. You talk to a real human being. No chat bots. No fake chat bots. You talk to a real human being right away. Zero wait times. They'll answer any questions you have. They'll take a look at your website. They'll give you feedback on anything you need. They're super helpful. So don't be shy to make use of them there. All right. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.